Open your mind.
Hey out there, this is Buzz with the Survival Buzz. So we're pretty much all aware at this point that the powers that be are going to nonstop push this green initiative, zero carbon crap down our throats. It seems more prevalent as the days go on, and it's a talking point that just doesn't seem to go away, and it seems to be becoming more of a reality every day. You know, I talked a little bit yesterday about Germany and how they're diving in head first with all this. And because of it, a lot of people are going to suffer. A lot of people are probably going to freeze to death. But that's what the people in charge over there have decided. And we're not quite that far gone here in the United States yet, but it's not far in our distant future. It's simply just not stopping. So I ran across this article today I wanted to read to you guys. And the headline is, "The media is hyping up carbon passports to restrict travel." It says a talking point that is now everywhere in the media is the notion that in the near future, travel is highly likely to be restricted through introduction of so-called carbon passports. And I know a lot of you probably heard about that in the past. It says last week CNN ran a piece created by something called The Conversation, which had the headline, quote, "It's time to limit how often we can travel abroad. Carbon passports may be the answer," end quote. Says within this analysis, readers were told that record-breaking heat waves, wildfires like everybody's seeing, and extreme weather events are being driven in part by people going on holiday. So how dare you guys try to go on holidays and have fun with your family? You're destroying the environment. And it says, quote, "Tourism is part of the problem," end quote. The piece asserts, adding, quote, "The tourism sector generates around 1/10 of the greenhouse emissions that are driving the climate crisis," end quote. It then goes on to suggest that the introduction of carbon passports would see every traveler being assigned a yearly carbon allowance they cannot exceed, could ration travel. So now you got to run everything by them, what you're able to do as far as travel. And with that being said, I've pretty much given on the thought of leaving the country and going on a vacation. It was something that I've thought about in the past, but ever since they've been cramming this real ID stuff down our throats and then stuff like this, I pretty much will never probably travel outside the country. Not to mention all the crap you go through to get on the plane. I'm not going to be violated like that simply to go somewhere. And it says, quote, "This concept may seem extreme." The writer states, "Before telling you that it isn't, and it's probably a good idea because how on the verge of collapse the environment is. Boiling temperatures will probably diminish the lure of traditional beach destinations anyway," claims the author. So the information including another piece published this week by Business Insider, all cites a report written by a consultancy agency called The Future Laboratory, which was released by a travel company called Intrepid. That report states that, quote, "These allowances will manifest as passports that force people to ration their carbon in line with global carbon budget, which is 750 billion tons until 2050. So they're already starting all this stuff. Quote, "By 2040, we can expect to see limitations imposed on the amount of travel that is permitted each year," end quote. And it continues adding that by then, quote, "It will be unusual to see members of Generation Alpha without a carbon footprint tracker on their smartphones. Every Uber ride, plane journey, and trip to the supermarket will be logged in these devices, noting their carbon footprint in real time." Telling you, this Big Brother stuff is becoming more and more of a reality every day. And anybody that is blind and cannot see that all of this is being put into place simply to track our every movement, they're just completely blind at this point. It's everywhere. So not only will you own nothing and like it, if this progresses as these experts suggest, you won't be able to go anywhere either. You know, for all of you people out there and I've stated this a few times, the gist of it on this channel, that are still under the delusion that you have a choice with this whole red and blue concept, Democrat, Republican. You really need to rethink how you're thinking about things, because this agenda has been going on for a long time. These are plans that have been put into place for decades now on how to control our life and have the elites take over every facet of our lives. You know, it was Agenda 2021 and now it's Agenda 2030. And with the crooked people we have in office right now, and as far-fetched as the world has become, and they just keep pushing this stuff further and further, they're not going to stop with this. And right now is their chance to push it as far as they possibly can. Now, how the next elections turn out, I really don't know, nor do I really honestly care. And you might think I'm crazy for saying something like that, but like I said, this stuff's been going on for a long time, and it did not matter who was in the office while it was going on. These are plans that are put into motion, and it does not matter who's sitting in that Oval Office. It doesn't matter. These things are going to continue to happen, and you need to be prepared for it, and you need to learn to express this isn't something that you want to be a part of your life. These people are becoming rich off of our hard-earned dollars at this point, and they're just going to keep progressing this further and further. And there's been people, you know, for years, for decades, that have been fighting this, you know, from the beginning of credit cards to smart meters and things like that. I would encourage everybody to not be a part of that to the best of your ability, to stay outside of this crooked system that they've created for us. And that means not having smart meters. You know, we're not living in the 1800s here. We have televisions and things like that. We have the internet, but I don't have any smart TVs. I don't have any smart Blu-ray players or refrigerators or meters or anything that is monitoring my every movement. But this is the reality that we're coming to, and you guys need to be willing to fight it on every front. And there's really only one way I foresee that all of this corruption ends, and it's not a future that I really am going to enjoy, nor a lot of you will, but it seems to be the cards we're dealt. God bless y'all, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Later.